To create your Google site, go to Google Drive, click New, and More, Google Sites. Do have a blank Google site for you to fill with information, content, or whatever. You can start by giving a title to your site, for example. So you can call it Testing Google Sites. And give your page a title here. This is what people are going to see. It might be the same. This is the header. You can decide to have just a pattern on the background. You may have what they call a cover, a bigger header, a large banner, just a banner, or title only. It's totally up to you. Let's leave, for example, a banner here. What you have to do next is here on themes, choose the theme you want for your Google site. You have some you can choose from, not many, but it tends to be okay. And you can choose different colors. So for example, let's take this one here. And if you want to have a banner, you can change the image that you're going to use here. And you can select it from a resource bank that Google's going to give you. And you can use whatever, for example, this one here, or this one here. You could also upload your own image. On the right hand side, you can also find pages. What you have in here is the home page, what visitors are going to find when they click on your link. But of course you can have sub-pages for your main site. So you can just add a new page here. I'm just giving random names. And they would be as important. For example, if you click here on the three dots, you can decide to set it as home page, to duplicate it. If you click here in properties, if you want, you can change the link that's going to get you to that site. So for example, instead of that number 01 page 1, you might simply say 1. And so the link to this page would be the main link to the site /1. So it's easier for people to access that. You can create as many new pages as you want. What you can do, if you want to have sub-pages for these main pages, just click on the three dots here and click Add Sub-Page. So it could be a page within another page. And something else you can do, I tend to do this with my students, for example, if I'm preparing a Google site for a unit and page 1, for example, is for my first session and page 2 is going to be for my second session, because I don't want them to see everything from the start, what you can do is, again, click here on the three dots and click Hide from Navigation. That way, you as the owner and the editor, you can see the page and you can keep working on it, but people who visit the link won't see that this page exists. It won't come up in the navigation menu. By default, the menu can be found here. What happens, however, is that if you have many pages, you won't be able to find everything here. If you click here on this cogwheel, you can decide, for example, in navigation, you can choose whether you want your menu to come up at the top of the page, as it is now, or if you want it on the side. And so it could be here. And as you can see, because page 2 is hidden from navigation, it doesn't come up here. If you click on the settings, you can change the navigation, and you can also find this announcement banner interesting, because if you click here on show banner, you can give your visitors a message. I'm going to write something silly. You can also provide them with a link, which can be an external link or even a page within the site. So for example, I may give them an external link, and you can ask the page to open it in a new tab, so that way it won't forget about your site. So as you can see, this link comes up here. You have the banner and the link here. On the body of any page, you can add different kinds of content. So if you double click, you will see this menu here. For example, this is the tool you're going to use if you want to write any texts. Your text can cover the whole width of the screen, or it can be just part of the screen, because for example, on the other side, you may want to add pictures or upload any content. For example, if you have saved a picture on your computer, you can upload it from here. And you can decide on the size, for example, of the photograph or the picture or the file. Because I'm resizing it, maybe it looks a bit, out of shape. You can use this tool to crop it, or you can just uncrop it here. So you could keep adding text. And if you decide that perhaps this bit of text should have gone before that one, you can select just that text box and move it, or move it back. If both boxes are selected, then both boxes would move at the same time. Just make sure that you're selecting only the bit that you want. And as you can see, this is a block of content somehow. With this block of content, you could keep adding things from Drive. We'll see how it's done now. You could leave it white with a white background, or if you wanted to, you could give it some emphasis. So you can see the background color has changed a bit, or even greater emphasis. Or you could just have a picture as background. These colors are going to be different depending on the theme you have chosen. So for example, if I change the theme now and I choose this one here, you will see that of course this has changed and the background that is offered is somehow different. I'm going to add a new block of content. So double click so you can see the options here. And for example, I'm going to add something from Google Drive. For example, a document that I have on Google Drive. So I click here and I have the Google Drive menu here. I could add files from my drive shared with me, then recent and start. It's very similar to what you might find on Google Classroom, for example. So imagine I want to share this document and I don't want just a link. I want people to see the document as it is. So I click here and I insert it. Again, like I did with the pictures, I can resize the document and I can have something like that. And my visitors will be able to see the document as such, or they may be able, if they want to open this document in a new tab. If you're not happy with the position, you can change the position of this object or of any other objects within the canvas of this block of content. If you're sharing files from your drive, just remember to make them available for your audience. So either share it with everybody who's going to read the page, or with everybody if your page is going to, if your site's going to be available to the general public. Otherwise, they will see a link to Google Drive and it will say they don't have a permission to see it. On another block, for example, we can embed other types of objects. And for example, if you have a website, you could just copy the link and embed the website just by copying the address, the URL, or with an embed code. In this case, because it's the BBC News website, I only have that link. I don't have a more complicated link. So I could basically just have these preview here. And what's happening, it may happen sometimes with Google Chrome, it's not actually working. So what you may need to do is, instead of working with a standard Chrome tab, go to Google Chrome and in the options here, press New Incognito window. And you will see it's going to help you. So I could go to Google Sites. Okay, I've logged into my account again, and this is my site. So I'll open it here on my incognito window. And you will see that it works now. So I'm going to do the same. Double click, embed by URL, BBC News. This is the preview. So I insert it, and this is what you get. Again, you can resize it, you can make it bigger, smaller, you can move it around the canvas. So when people visiting your site see this, they can click on the link and it will open in a new window. You will see it in a minute. I have 3 blocks of content now. I can change the order of my content. So for example, I can leave this block as the first object I want, and maybe I want this to come second. So I can move it around just by dragging and dropping from here. If, for example, I want to make small changes, I can duplicate this section. So I have it twice, and maybe I can just change, I can make small changes or whatever. And if I don't need it anymore, I can delete it here. As you can notice, I'm not saving anything because, as you know, Google Apps tends to save everything automatically. However, nothing has been published yet. So if I'm happy more or less with what I have so far, I can click Publish here. Because I haven't published it before, I have to give it a name. That's the web address. So I'm going to give it just like that. So this would be my address, and this is what I've chosen. And I can decide how many people are going to see it. Okay. So when it says links, the draft, maybe it's just me. But the published site, you can decide if it's just only in your organization, or maybe you want to make it public, or maybe just restricted to some specific people. If you want everybody to be able to see your site, then you have to make it public. and you click done. You can change this at any time. If you go to share with others, at any time you can change this. So you go to here, links, and again you can choose, for example, to restrict it to just some people that you would have to add here. I'm going to make a small change, and for example here, so I'm going to add a picture that I have on my Google Drive, for example. So you click here, and I'm going to add this one here, insert. Okay, these changes have been saved in Drive, but people won't be able to see them. They will see the old version. So every time you make any changes you want people to see, you have to click publish. And it will show you both versions. It will show you what is currently published, what people are seeing at the moment, and this is what you're suggesting now. So you can see the difference here, that you have this, and in the currently published version, the picture is not here. But you say, no, I want the picture, so you publish. If you want to share, for example, a YouTube video, you click here, embed, and because YouTube is part of Google, you can simply copy the link and embed it just by URL. It will be okay. As I say, with YouTube, because it's part of the Google ecosystem. So you have the video here. Again, you can change the size, you can resize it. You can do whatever you want with it. And you also have some settings here if you want to show or hide controls and show the progress bar, whatever minor changes. Imagine you want to share something, for example, a video, which is not from YouTube, and it has an embed code. You can embed it here. Again, my advice, use an incognito window rather than an ordinary tab on Google Chrome. So double click here, embed. Then rather than by URL, use the embed code. How do you get the embed code? For example, on a page like this, if I want to share this video, it gives me the option of sharing, and I can embed normal player, small player, whatever. So I copy this embed code, copy it here, and you insert it. Again, you may have to resize it. And so there you have the video. I published with the changes. Okay, what happens is that you're seeing somehow the draft version of your site, but if you want to see what people are going to actually see when they visit your site, in this button here, click the arrow, and you can click View Published Sites, and you will have a new window where you can see the final result. And this will be it. So you can click on any videos here, you can have a document, or you can open it on a new window. You have the website here, the image, the text. Something I do many times, especially for my online classes, is once I have the address for my Google site, I copy the link and I create a QR code. Okay, I download this image what I tend to do is on the home page, one of the first things I do is to upload this image, this QR code. So that way, for example, if I'm sharing my screen during my class, during my Zoom call or Google Meet or whatever, and there are students who want to see the content of my site on a different device, for example, if they're connected on a tablet or an iPad or even on a computer, and they want to see the Google site on a different device, they can simply scan the code and access it from a different device. That way, that's the size it should be. Again, because I've made a change, I click Publish. And that would be it. Again, remember, you can simply have a title, you can have a menu here, you could add a logo. And if you want to add extra information here in the footer, you can do so, and it will show on every page. So if you want to say maybe your name, or whatever, or give an extra link, something like that, this will be shown, as I say, on every page of the site.